Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to make a plant hanger, but instead of putting a plant in it, I'm going to put a bowl in it to put in my bathroom to catch, brushes and hair ties and stuff like that. But this one I'm going to make a little bit different. I'm going to make it two-tiered because at the top of it I'm going to put a little whatnot that I've had hanging in my bathroom for a while in a littler hanger, and now I've decided to make a bigger hanger for it and then put a bowl underneath it to just catch stuff. Whatever it catches, it catches. But so what we're going to need to do this project today is some rope. This is a spool that I bought off the internet. It is 4mm rope. It's sort of an off-white, and it's 220 yards, so it's going to be enough. And of course we're going to need some scissors, and I've got it's either a 2 or a 3-inch ring. I just picked that up at Hobby Lobby, fairly inexpensive. So grab your stuff and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure our ropes out. Now, I might do this a little bit different than everybody else. I don't use a ruler and tape measure and all of that. I've got better things to do than exactly measure out every single rope. So, we're just going to do it by body lengths. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to set my spool on the floor, and I'm going to measure out about 4 body lengths. Now my body lengths are about 4 foot each. So that is going to make our ropes about 16 foot long. We're going to do 8 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I'm going to cut my rope right there. Now, but once I get the first one measured like that, I'm not going to do that again. I'm just going to put the 2 ends together and run down, all the way to the other end of the rope. Shake it out. There we go. All the way down to the other end of my rope. Then I'm going to cut my main rope right there. And I'm going to do that 6 more times. Okay, now, as you can see, we've got 8 ropes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ropes. But what we're going to do with these ropes is we're going to hold one end, travel all the way down, till we get to the other side of the ropes. Now, and we're going to hold the other end of the ropes. That makes them in half. So now we're going to travel back down and find the middle of our ropes right there. So here's the middle of all of our ropes. So we're going to hold our hand right here at the middle. If I can get my fingers in all of them. Uh-oh, I dropped one. Whoops. There we go. Now, here's the middle. We're going to hold our hand here to hold our spot. And we're going to take half of the rope back down to the other side. Come on, the ends here. Of course, it has tangled. When you're dealing with such long rope, this just happens. somehow. Okay, so we're going to be holding 8 of our ropes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to put this end, keeping our hand here in the middle. We're going to put one end of the ropes through the ring and run our ring all the way down to where our ring is in the middle of our ropes, just like that. And now then, hang my ring back up here. But as you will see, we started out with 8 ropes. But we have folded them in half now, and we have 16 ropes here to work with. And the reason I say that is because I had somebody say, oh, well, you started out with 8 ropes, not 16, and they was all confused. So I just wanted to clarify, yes, we started out with 8 ropes, but now we folded them in half and we have 16 ropes to work with on our piece. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I've cut almost a full body's length, just a little under, of extra rope. We're going to do a gathering knot, and to do that, we're going to point one end up and grab it with hold it with our finger up against our work. And we're going to take this end and wrap it around our hand and then start wrapping it around our work like this. And we're just going to wrap, try to keep it fairly tight. And just wrap it as many times as you think looks good. For everybody, that will be different. But make sure you keep that tail there tucked in underneath your finger, because you're going to use that here in just a minute. Okay. But my fingers are getting in the way, so I'm going to move some of them out. But I'm keeping my loop here, see? Okay. I think that's going to be good. Now we're going to take this tail and we're going to tuck it into this loop. Like this. And then we're going to take this end up here, the top part, and we're going to pull it tight. Like that. And then I'm going to cut this piece up here. And I'm also going to cut this piece right here up as close as I can get, and then just sort of move it around to where you can't hardly see it. That'll be the back of my hanger, actually. So there we go. That's what it looks like. I'm just going to turn it around, and that's what the front's going to look like. Okay, our next thing we're going to do is to separate these ropes out into 4s. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab your first 4 ropes here, and we're going to do a square knot with them. But what we're not going to do a whole square knot, because we're going to do a spiral stitch, and that's only half of a square knot. So take your 2 at the edges, keep these 2 straight, bend this up into a 4, put this one over that rope and tuck it in behind and through this loop right here. And pull the tail all the way through that loop. Take your 2 end ones and pull up tight. And do that again. Pull it up tight. Try to keep your two middle ones, that's not your working ropes, try to keep them straight and not bunched up whenever you pull your 2 working ropes up. Oops. again. Go. Just keep doing that same knot over and over again, and you can see that it's starting to twist here, and that's what we want. You can keep twisting it around to where it's sort of straight for you, and then once you get all of your knots on there, then you can actually twist it by hand to get it to spiral the way you want it to. Ah, it keeps falling off of here. I'm going to have to think of something else. So, just to give you an idea, see, I've twisted it around here where I can work on it, and then once I'm done, I can twist it like that. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the next one here. I'm just going to go in here and find my next 4 ropes. And I'm going to do that same knot to these 4. I'm going to tuck that up tight up against the top. Now, I think you can see we've got 2 working here. Now, I'm going to come to the back and I'm going to find my next 4 ropes. And I'm going to do that again, just the same knot. And then I'll go ahead and travel down with that one here in a few minutes. But here's your next 4. And just do the same one again. That's going to give you 4 columns of spirals coming off of this. Okay, so I've got all 4 of these done. I put 23 knots a piece on them. Now I'm going to take my 4 ropes on each one of them, and I'm going to come just a little bit down, maybe an inch. And okay, so this is the top part complete. We're going to see if our elephant will fit in. He's not, you know, a bowl or anything like that. He's got little parts that you have to fit in there. And little feet that you've got to make sure get down in there. And make sure he's sitting straight. And there you go. Yay! Cute. There's the top half. Okay, so I went ahead and I put another group of square knots on the bottom of the ones we just made. And now we're going to start forming the first basket. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 from one group of square knots and the neighboring 2 of the next group of square knots. And we're going to do a square knot with those 2. Or those 4 ropes. There's the beginning. And I'm going to bring it down maybe a 3/4 of an inch. Maybe. There's that square knot connecting these 2 columns. Now, we'll go on to the next one. Use the 2 that you have left over from this column and the 2 neighboring of the next column. And do that all the way around. Keep them in line with each other. And now, I'm going to do that same thing again. Except instead of using these 4 ropes for square knots, I'm going to split them in half again and use half of one and half of the other again. Just bring it down a little bit further. And just come down a little bit. This is a pretty little thing that I'm going to be hanging in here. Now when we get down to the bigger basket, we'll go down a little bit further to make the basket deeper. But this top one doesn't have to be that deep. Okay, so this is going to be the end of our first basket. So what we're going to do now is we are going to make a gathering knot right here. So take it in your hand, take a length of rope, point one end up just like we did up here. Loop one around, loop the tail around, and start wrapping. Pretty tight. Keep them up close to each other. That's going to be good, I think. One more time. And now, just like before, tuck this end into this loop. Pull it down like that. Grab your end up here and pull. Now I'm going to cut this end off and this end off. And there we go. Okay, so this is the top part complete. We're going to see if our elephant will fit in. He's not, you know, a bowl or anything like that. He's got little parts that you have to fit in there. And little feet that you've got to make sure get down in there. And make sure he's sitting straight. And there you go. Yay! Cute. There's the top half. Okay, so I've done a little bit on the bottom here. I've done exactly the same thing that I've done up top, down on bottom, except instead of 23 knots on the spiral, I've put 33. Now I wanted to show you real quick, when you get your ropes to do your spiral knots down here on bottom, check the length of your ropes and pick your longer ones for your working ropes. See how these are short? These are your working ropes from up top, so they're going to be shorter than your other ropes. Pick the longer ropes for your working ropes on the bottom, or you're liable not to have enough rope on the bottom. So like this one is a long rope, I'm going to make it a working rope up top. And then check the length of your other ropes to see which one of them. This is the longer rope, so I'm going to make that a working rope. Just twist them around to where they need to be coming out of your gathering knot and roll on with it. Okay, so I've got all of the spirals done on the bottom half, and I've went on down here and done the square knots. Instead of putting 2, I put 3. Those are all done. And now we're going to start making the basket. So let me move you down. Okay. Now for the basket, we're going to do the same as we did on the top. We're going to take 2 ropes from one column and 2 ropes from the other. And we're going to do a square knot. Since the bottom basket is supposed to be bigger than the top, we're going to go down just a little bit farther than we did for the top and put our square knot all the way around, using half of one group of square knots from up here and half of the other. Now we're going to move on down and we're going to do our next group of square knots just like we did up top, alternating again. That one's just not seating. Okay, so these 2 and 2 from the one next door to it. And we're going to go down just a little ways to do those square knots. Probably about 1.5 inches is what I'm going down from them. Okay, so now this is going to be the end of our basket. We're going to do our gathering knot again. So cut you a little length of rope, probably 2.5 feet, maybe a little more, and do the gathering knot again. So the same as what we done up top. Down, start wrapping it. Okay, and again we've got our loop here. Stick your tail through the loop. Then here's your other piece. It's made its way all the way over there somehow. And pull. As tight as you can get it. Cut off the top. Cut off the bottom. Now, what we're going to do with these ends, you can see there's a pretty long deal of rope here. I'm going to cut, see where this one is? That's the end of some of my short ropes. I'm just going to cut it with that And then these are frayed pretty good, so I'm just going to fray these a little bit. And you can do that when you've got more time. Okay, everybody, and here it is, all done and hung up. Yay! I really like the way it turned out. It could hang out just a little bit more, but that's because of the hanger I've got up there. Just ain't quite out far enough for it to hang perfect. But it is what it is, and you know, it didn't take a whole lot of time. It didn't cost a whole lot of money. So I really liked making this with you, and please give me a good thumbs up and subscribe, and have a good day, y'all. Bye.